Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। What Vishnu Prakash Prabhuji mentioned, it gives a lot of hope to me that I can really please him. What he and Prabhuji and all the devotees expect, what Srila Prabhupada expects from us. At least I can try. And I've been always saying, what I can do in reciprocation is to try 100% on this path, which has been so nicely, our acharyas have just kept it wide open, just to walk on it. If you are not able to walk, then is Durdavya, big misfortune. Double actually, first getting the human form, and then after that getting so much facilities to progress, still not. So just thinking about it, actually devotees should feel worried, not for anything else, not for bodily maintenance and all, that is taken care. Devotees should worry where my time is going. So much has gone, now I have to utilize my time very properly. Otherwise, this misfortune, not able to utilize what has been given properly. So that should be our concern. Seeking blessings, Prabhuji, all the Samad Vaishnavas, please bless. I wanted to ask one question. What is the purpose of this class? Anyone would like to say? What is the purpose? Actually, there is no right and wrong answer. There could be many, many answers. Everyone has a different mindset why they are attending class. What is the purpose? Prabhuji mentioned already that we have to really transform our lives. This is the purpose of class. Actually, I was thinking before start, and you already touched that one. So it's a connection of heart to heart. I was thinking like that what is the purpose, and Prabhuji already mentioned, we have to transform our lives, our hearts by attending this satsanga. So thank you once again. While you were chanting, I was thinking it should continue, but then I remembered Srila Prabhupada's instructions. I believe it's one of the purports of Bhagavad-Gita where he says, Gyan is important. Like, about, as you have mentioned, this is today's topic, Goya Tamam, which we'll discuss. So this knowledge is very important. And then Prabhupada says, then devotional service with full knowledge. That will get us the desired result. So Prabhuji is learning from you, whatever speaking is Goya Tamam and transforming our lives. Let's we'll start with Jai Radha Mother. Then we'll proceed. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari 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 Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Givaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Givaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Givaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Vallabha Jaya Givaradari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Jai Vishnupada Dharman, Prabhuii and Soda Krishna. His divine grace, Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Jai. Bhagavad-Gita Yathartha Ki Jai. In the morning, I was thinking whether to carry with me. This is quite heavy. Knowledge is always heavy, quite big, thick. So I was thinking I'll take from library. Then that's the advantage of reading. So I immediately remembered Prabhupada Lilamrita. When Prabhupada went to US, he carried 200 copies of Srimad Bhagavatam. And first canto was 3 volumes. First canto was 1 volume, it was 3 volumes and 200 copies. And what Prabhupada said? Prabhupada said, these books will give me confidence. Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna himself started carrying. And he said, in this United States, which is who will understand this message? But when I am carrying Bhagavatam, then I am very confident. So with the Kripa of Bhagavad-Gita, Actually, this inspiration is coming. Now, we are today reading from chapter number 9, which is
the
most confidential knowledge, Param Guhya Gyan. And we have reached now on shloka number 4. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. So, start. Anyone who needs Hindi translation can go the back. And how many Hindi को किसको चाहिए अनुवाद? एक आपको बस. So we need one. Prabhuii has come. Please translation Prabhuii for Prabhuii. Prabhuii there. You can. For
Prabhuii.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Please repeat them. Maya tatam idam sarvam. Jagat avakt murtina. Matsthani sarva bhutani. Na chaham teshu avastita. Maya tadidam sarvam. Jagat avakt murtina. Matsthani sarva bhutani. Na chaham teshu avastita. Maya tatam idam sarvam. Jagat avyakta murtina. Matsthani sarva bhutani. Na chaham teshu avastita.
Maya tatam idam sarvam. Ani sarva bhutani. Nachaham teshva avastita.
Maya tatam idam sarvam. Jagat avyakta murtina. Matsthani sarva bhutani. Na chaham teshu avastita.
Maya tatam idam sarvam. Avyakta murtina.
Jagat avyakta murtina. Matsthani sarva bhutani. Na chaham teshu avastita. Maya tadam idam sarvam. Jagat avyakta murtina. Matsthani sarva bhutani. Na chaham teshu avastita. Maya tadam idam sarvam. Jagat avyakta murtina. Matsthani sarva bhutani. Na chaham teshu avastita. Mataji. Maya tadam idam sarvam. Jagat avyakta murtina. Matsthani sarva bhutani. Na chaham teshu avastita. Maya tadam idam sarvam. Jagat Avyaktamurtina Machthani Sarvabhutani Maya Tadamidam Sarvam Jagat Avyaktamurtina Machthani Sarvabhutani Nacham Artesupasthita. Hare Krishna. So let's proceed. Word by word translation. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Word by word translation. Maya, by me. Tatam, pervaded. Idam, this. Sarvam, all. Jagat, cosmic manifestation. Avyakta Murtina, by the unmanifested form. Matsthani, in me. Sarvabhutani, all living entities. Na, not. Cha, also. Aham, I. Teshu, in them. Avasthita, situated. So here is the translation. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Please repeat. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is not perceivable through the gross material senses. It is said, Atah Shri Krishna Namadi Nabhavet Brahmendriya Sevan Mukho Hi Jivadu Swayam Ev Vispurte Yada. Bhakti Sama Sindhu 1.2.234. Lord Sri Krishna's name, fame, pastimes, etc. cannot be understood by material senses. Only to one who is engaged in pure devotional service under proper guidance is he revealed. In Brahma Samhita 5.38, it is stated, Premanjana Jrita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaveshu Lokayanti. One can see the Supreme Personality of God and Govinda always within himself and outside himself if one has developed the transcendental loving attitude towards him. Thus, for people in general, he is not visible. Here it is said that although he is all pervading, everywhere present, he is not conceivable by the material senses. This is indicated here by the word Avyakta Murtina. But actually, although we cannot see him, everything is resting in him. We have discussed in 7th chapter, the entire material cosmic manifestation is only a combination of his two different energies, the superior spiritual energy and the inferior material energy. Just as the sunshine is spread all over the universe, the energy of Lord is spread all over the creation, and everything is resting in that energy. Yet one should not conclude that because he is spread all over, he has lost his personal existence. To refute such an argument, the Lord says, I am everywhere and everything is in me, but still I am aloof. For example, a king heads a government, which is but the manifestation of the king's energy. The different governmental departments are nothing but the energies of the king, and each department is resting on the king's power. But still, one cannot expect the king to be present in every department personally. That is a crude example. Similarly, all the manifestations that we see and everything that exists, both in this material world and in the spiritual world, are resting on energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The creation takes place by the diffusion of his different energies. And as stated in the Bhagavad-Gita, Vistabhayam idam Krishna. He is everywhere present in his personal representation. the diffusion of his different energies. Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuda Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavacha Shri Rupam Sadvajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sachivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Radha Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Vancha Kalpatarusha Kripa Sindhu Vyayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Vichare Nirvishesha Shivadi Ashata Deshatare Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Whatever we are discussing and how we are here, it's all because of grace of Srila Prabhupada. And it's our duty to reciprocate with him. And as we discuss how we reciprocate with Prabhupada, Prabhupada uses the keyword sincerity. If we follow our bhakti life with sincerity, Prabhupada will open doors for us. So, whatever we are discussing, it's all Prabhupada's teachings. So, Lord Krishna is imparting knowledge to Arjuna, and he gradually is moving higher and higher. We have now reached to chapter 9. The most confidential knowledge. So let's take one step back and understand what we have learned. So as we discussed, this knowledge is divided in 3 parts. Guhya, Guhyatar, Guhyatama. Confidential, more confidential, and most confidential. Chapter 2 deals with Guhya, especially first 30 shlokas of chapter 2. Where Krishna gives Sankhya Yoga. Prabhupada names this as contents of Gita summarized. It can't be more important. The Prabhupada always teaches us we are not this body, we are souls. So he didn't name this as Sankhya Yoga, which generally is what we find in Bhagavad-Gita. He said this is the summary of whole Bhagavad-Gita. And what happened after the summary? It's very interesting. What happened? Arjuna got confused. In the chapter 3, he starts with question, Krishna, I'm totally confused. You have told me so many things because Krishna has summarized the whole Bhagavad-Gita in chapter 2. So important. And even more important than this introduction of Srimad Bhagavad-Gita and Bhagavatam, where Prabhupada says that everything crux. So Prabhupada, when he went to United States, he didn't know how much he will live. Very old age. Health is not keeping well. And we see 3 heart attacks in Jaludha. So what Prabhupada did? Prabhupada is very intelligent. He gave us Canto 1. Before leaving, he completed Canto 1. And I think Canto 2 also. But Canto 1, 3 volumes. Prabhupada has given us everything in these purports. The all summary of Bhagavatam in Canto 1. How important it is. We should not try to reach in a race 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Canto 1 itself, we should contemplate and go again and again and again. That doesn't mean we should not go forward, but we should keep on and come back and revise again and again Canto 1. Because Prabhupada has given a summary of whole Bhagavatam in Canto 1. And Canto 1 actually is not difficult to read. It's just one book. We may get intimidated by like 18 books, around 18 books, this thing. But Canto 1, yes, we should be enthusiastic to read Bhagavad-Gita and Canto 1. In our book distribution, the important books which are being sold is Bhagavad-Gita and Canto 1 of Bhagavad. And Krishna book also. These are 3 important books. Why Canto 1? Because we know that Prabhupada has given us everything in Canto 1. Whole summary. How much painstaking it would have been to summarize whole Bhagavatam in one canto. In his purports. That is important. So in chapter 2, which Gyan is that? Atma Gyan. Yes. And Guhya. Science of soul. That is Guhya Gyan. Because in this world, why it is Guhya? Because we Manushyanam Sahasresu Kaschidadisudaya. Actually, this is for one who knows this. Yadatam api siddhana na vedti tattvata. So this shloka is for those who know this knowledge, that I am soul, I am not this body. Who are those people? Amongst thousands, Sahasresu. And amongst those 1,000, very few know who Krishna is. Because most of them, we see majority, they are Brahmavadis or they are Mayavadis. Majority of people. So they don't know Krishna. Bhaktya ma abhijanati yavan nyastati tattva. In real tattva, in reality, philosophically, only Bhaktya can know Krishna. Krishna gives us stamp of approval. A Bhakta will only know me. Nobody else. So chapter 2. Guhya. There is one interesting point I want to share with you. When I was reading chapter 2, I made my notes. And I found so many Guhya words there. They're confidential. Which Prabhupada describes. So that's why we say, don't rush. We have to go really take a deep dive into Prabhupada's reports. So we'll discuss few words because this is part of our Guhya studies. Then we'll come to Guhyatar and then we'll come to Guhyatamam. Okay, Arya. You know when we used to watch Mahabharata? Who have watched Mahabharata on TV? Please raise your hands. Everyone, because roads were empty, so we are inside. Huh? Mahabharat, there's song now Mahabharat, and then the music is I can't. Do you remember that music? Yes. As if like thunderbolts and so attracting. So there we find people using words Arya, Arya, Arya. But ask someone who is Arya. People would have seen the whole Mahabharata. But ask them, this simple word is being used so many times in Mahabharata. Who is Arya? You don't know. I was hearing in one lecture, this Mahabharata was good because at least it was engaging people in to know our scriptures, maybe superficially, but at least that attraction was developed. It is good, really very good. Ramayana is very good. But if we see deterioration, now age of Kali Yuga, as Parikshit Maharaj times Kali Yuga started, Parikshit Maharaj gave him some places where 4 regular twins are broken, you stay there, you stay in gold. And slowly spread all over, like Ravana. Ravan, 1 head, 2 head, 3 head is spreading. So same way, now we see when that serials were there, they were in Sattva Guna. Really characters and all this. But if you see now, I don't know whether they are still, but they give a new versions. You see now, they are in Rajva Guna. And maybe sometimes Tamoguna. How they dress. So this Kali Yuga is taking a toll, deterioration. Arya. So we have all watched Mahabharata and we have read Prabhupada's chapter 2. Who is Arya? Prabhupada gives definition. Okay. Let's not make it a quiz, we'll keep on reading. Arya means a person who knows value of life. Very simple. A person who knows how to get out of circle of birth and death. Is Arya. Value of life is a really big word. This Prabhupada explains in Brahman also. We will see later. Kripna. Kripna generally is miser. But Prabhupada says a person who is not solving the problems of life and living his life like cats and dogs. He's a Kripna. Generally, dictionary meaning is conjuice. Conjuice kaise hua? How is conjuice? Because he is not utilizing what has been given to him. Like conjuice kya karta hai? He has lots of money. He'll store. He'll not utilize. Similarly, this body is given to us to find solution to the problems, but we are not finding solution to the problem. We are kripana. We are conjuice. Skin disease. Prabhupada, these are very, I think these words are created by Prabhupada, skin disease. Specifically using here, skin disease. इसको हिंदी में बोलते हैं भाई भतीजावाद. बहुत सुंदर श्लोक है ना? यस्यात्म बुद्धि कुणपे त्रिधातुके स्वधी कलत्रादि भौम इजधि यस्तीर्थ बुद्धि सलिलेना करहिचित जनेषु अभज्ञेषु सएव भूखरा. This is skin disease. जो the person who thinks is atma buddhi matlab ye body. I am this. Who are you? I am XYZ person. I am this. My father name is this. I am Indian. I come from this city. He is my brother. He is my sister. This is yes, atma buddhi, bodily consciousness. Kunpe tri dhatu ke, ye jo kapha, pitta और vayu, the body is made of these 3 elements. Thinking that I am this. Swadhi means apna, thinking of one's own. Kalatradis, wife, children, etc. Bhaumijati, and this is my country as we discussed. This is I am Indian, I am Pakistani, like that. Yes, Tirth Buddhi, one who goes to Tirthas. For what? Salile, to take bath. Na karachit. He is not understanding to meet Janeshu Abhigyeshu, meet the people who know, who are learned, saintly people there, Saev Gokhara. These people, Bhagavatam says, they are like cow and asses. This is skin disease. Bodily consciousness. How many of us has come out of this? Can anyone claim, raise their hands? I am out of this skin disease. We are still diseased. He still has skin disease. Because chapter 2 of Bhagavad-Gita is yet not implemented. First 30 shlokas are not yet implemented. What to say of chapter 9? This is very confidential. We are talking about confidential. And this is most confidential knowledge. So skin disease. And then Brahmana. So this is a counter of Kripana. Exactly the opposite definition. Who uses the body for solutions of life? Who is using the body to get out of the cycle of Janma Mrityu Jara Dukh Doshanu Darshana? We'll go a little fast because really I always find myself struggling for time. So we will just run and we will stop at time. Whatever is remaining, we'll just let it go. But whatever we are discussing, we should discuss properly. Dhira Purusha. This is today's. Everything is linked. A person who has knowledge of two energies of Krishna, it's mentioned here. You have seen in the purport. Prabhupada says this. Not bewildered by bodily changes. This is Dhira Purusha. Like superior energy and inferior energy. Knows that I am the superior energy. I am not this body inferior energy. The person knows he is Dhira. And then when one grows old, one tada dehanta praptir, Dhiras tatrana moyati. Dhir Purush, when the bodily one changes from one body to another, that Dhir Purusha doesn't get moyati. He doesn't get bewildered. So that is Dhir Purusha definition given. Chara. Chara is actually again used for soul because soul has tendency to get influenced by material energy of Krishna. That is Chara. A differentiated part of Krishna. A part of Krishna, but tendency to fall down. So, before this, let's see how we can proceed. So, Goya, in let's now touch the topic of Goitar. Goitar is chapter 7 and 8, specifically chapter 7 of Bhagavad-Gita, where Krishna is telling about himself, his energies and himself. So here, in chapter 7, Bhagavad-Gyan, Shloka number 7.6. So we have covered now, in summary, the Goya Gyan from chapter 2. And also, coming to Goyatar, which is chapter 7, just taken few shlokas. Before this, there is Shloka 7.3. Manushyanam sahasresu kashit yadati siddhaye yatam visiddhanam kashit mam vedi tatvata. So here, this is tatvata means in fact. Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection. We discussed this shloka when we started. And who is this one who is endeavoring perfection? He is a jnani. Amongst thousands of those who are living their lives like cats and dogs, one may endeavor for perfection, which is understanding the Goya Gyan, that I am not this body, I am soul. Jnani knows this. And of those who have achieved perfection, of those Jnanis, hardly one knows me in truth. And Prabhupada translates in Tattvata means in fact. And in purport he says, in the translation he says, in truth. So amongst those Jnanis, one will understand Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. So rare. That's what we mentioned before, that really bhaktas are in very minority, very less. Prabhupada, when he went to US, he encountered with we discussed one Mayavadi, Dr. Mishra. And they will fight. Prabhupada fighting. There are in the Leela, there are few quotes where people who witness them. So they write, they fight in Hindi, so they don't understand. For example, they are going for preaching. So Dr. Mishra will take him with, but he will not let him speak about Supreme Person of Godhead. He will talk about Brahmajyoti. So while they're traveling the car, that person is driving, that US person, he only understands English. He said, I found these two fighting in Hindi. I don't know what was the topic, but they always used to fight. And then they, after that, he said, after some time they become friends. They'll shake hands and everything was all right. So Prabhupada was putting across his views and he was, but he was very nice to Prabhupada. Prabhupada appreciated. You know one interesting point? Prabhupada said, why don't we propagate this movement of Lord Chaitanya? He said, Prabhupada, why should I propagate? I think you are incarnation of Lord Chaitanya. You propagate. Prabhupada said, I am not incarnation of Lord Chaitanya. You are Mishra. His father was Jagannath Mishra. Prabhupada is using everything to convince. Jagannath Mishra and you are also Mishra. Why don't you propagate this movement? He said, no, Prabhupada, I cannot. You are incarnation of Chaitanya. You propagate. So like that, exchanges are going on. Why I'm saying this? Because here we see Goya Gyan. Mishra ji had Goya Gyan. He knew that theoretically he knew that he is not this body, he is soul. That's why he is Jnani. That's why he is looking to merge to Brahma Jyoti. He cannot think this body to merge with Brahma Jyoti. He knows that he is spirit soul. So that much Jnani was there. And then Mishra ji is one among the, Krishna says, Sahasresu, he is one among the thousands. Otherwise, all others are, to use Prabhupada's words, cats and dogs. Cats and dogs in a human body, two-legged animals. Those who don't know who they are. So then, further, this shloka. Etad yonini bhutani sarvanti upadharaya ham pratsasya jagata prabhava pralayasthatha. This is the word we just read, you remember? In a different shloka, but Prabhupada says in the last line, idam kritsnam, and here is kritsnasya. Okay, let's see. So here, what we read in the purport about two energies of Lord. This shloka also discusses. Now this is Goyadar Gyan. We are going one step further. Because here Krishna is telling about himself. First, Goya is about the spirit soul. So Etad means these two natures. In the previous shloka, Krishna discussed about material elements and spirit soul. And they say these two natures, these matter and spirit, Yoni Bhutani, Sarvantini Upadharya. So what does this mean? It is mentioned that all created beings have their source in these two natures. Of that is material, of all that is material and all that is spiritual in this world. Know for certain that I am both the origin and dissolution. This is Guhyatar Gyan. Krishna telling about his energies and himself. And then 30. Sadi Bhuta Adi Devam Mam Sadi Yagnam Cha Vidu Chaye Vidu Prayana Kale Api Chamam Vidu Yukta Chetasa. So what Krishna says? Sa Adi Bhuta. Krishna is governing principle of this material manifestation. Adi Devam. Krishna is governing principle of all the demigods. Mam, he. Sadi Yagyam Chavidu. And also, he is Sadi Yagyam means governing of all the sacrifices. You should know, Arjuna. Prayana Kale Chapimam. And that person who knows while he leaves his body, all this what I am. They Vidu, you should know, Yukta Chesada, their minds will be engaged in me. So this is Guhyatar Gyan. While leaving their bodies, if a person knows that Krishna is the governing principle of everything, governing principle of material manifestation, of demigods, of all the sacrifices done, then that person can focus his mind on Krishna. That means he knows Krishna. So from Guhya, knowing oneself as spirit soul, now there is a higher principle of knowing Krishna as Guhyatar. This is all actually, preparing us for today's shloka, so I'll quickly move. And now, 8.9. This is again Kavim Puranam Anusasitaram Anor Aniyamsam Anusmaredya Sarvasya Dhataram Achintya Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat. Kavim. Really, we should fall in love with the shlokas because Krishna is, as Bruce Prakash always says, Krishna is explaining who is he from his own words. Nobody has done this and nobody else can do that. Only Krishna can glorify himself. Sometimes we hear people say, how Krishna can glorify himself like this? It's like something we look at, something very proud person doing like that. Nobody else can do this. Because Krishna is like this. Nobody else. Out of 64 qualities, Krishna is in full 64 qualities. Nobody else. So Kavim, Krishna knows everything. Purana means Adi Purusham, oldest. Anusasitaram. Anusasitaram means controller, Anushashan. Anor Anyan, smaller than atom, smaller. Anusmredya, who always thinks of Krishna like this. Sarvasva Dhataram, Krishna is the maintainer of everything. Achintya Rupam, inconceivable root. All this is inconceivable. Aditya Varna, Krishna is luminous like sun. Tamasa Parastat, and transcendental to all the darkness. Prabhupada says, one should meditate upon the Supreme Person as the one who knows everything, as he who is the oldest, who is the controller, who is the smaller than the smallest, who is the maintainer of everything, who is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable, who is always a person, who is always a person. in Guhya Gyan, we are not necessarily we are thinking Krishna as a person. But in Guhya, Prabhupada has emphasized and Krishna says himself, he is always a person. He is luminous like sun and he is transcendental and beyond the material nature. Further, Srimad Bhagavatam gives further understanding in the beginning itself. First shloka of Bhagavatam. This gives understanding who Krishna is, the absolute truth, the cause of all causes, sarva karan karana, absolute truth. Janmadi yata anvayan iti daras chardeshu abhikya swarat. So, exactly similar to this shloka. What this Gita shloka says? That Krishna is the one who is supreme controller, who is maintainer. So Janma Adi Yasya means origin, maintenance and destruction of all the universes. Directly and indirectly done by Krishna. Through energies of Krishna, indirectly. Charteshu Abhikya Swarat. And Krishna is, he knows everything, Abhikya, and he is independent. Krishna is explaining himself in the shloka 8.9, who is he? And Srimad Bhagavatam explains the beginning who Krishna is. Guhya Gyan. Tene Brahmaradaya Adi Kave Guyanti Surya. Krishna is the one from whom all the knowledge comes. He gives the Vedic knowledge in the heart of Brahmaji. And Krishna's energies are so powerful that even the sages get bewildered. Guyanti Surya. Like Tejovari Vradayatha, Vinavaya Trisarga Amrisha. Like sometimes we see the water in the desert that with Krishna. So this is how Krishna can bewilder these sages also, these energies of Krishna. Dhamna Swena Sada Nirastam. Always situated in his abode. Actually, his energies work in this material world. Kokam. He's above all the illusion. Kokam Nirastam. Satyam Param Dhime. This is the key verse. Param Satyam. He is the absolute truth. He is the absolute truth, and I pay my obeisances to Krishna. This is start of Bhagavatam. Guhya Gyan. Telling about Krishna and his energies. Further, let's move on to so we have heard shloka number 9.1 to 9.3. It's mentioning about Krishna and qualifications and disqualifications. So here it is mentioned about qualifications to know Krishna in shloka number 1, non-envious. Krishna says, Arjuna, you are non-envious of me, I will give you this knowledge. And then further, shloka number 4 to 10 tells about Aishwarya Gyan of Krishna. Guhya Gyan. This is the shloka. We had a very, very detailed explanation by Prabhuii on this. This one. Idam te number 1. Number 2, what is there? Number 2 explains to us about Raj Vidya, the king of knowledge, secret of knowledge, purest of all knowledge. And it's understood by direct experience. It's the principle of religion, and it's very joyfully performed. So Sukham Kartumar. And then finally, shloka number 2 was by Yashovatana Prabhuji, and then number 3 by Navata Prabhuji, which we have heard last time. So I'm just going to read for background the translation. Those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attain me, or conqueror of enemies. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. So here Krishna establishes the supremacy of bhakti. Without devotional service, bhakti may seva, we cannot understand Krishna. So now today's shloka. By me, okay, yes, I put the, which one is that?
9.3.
9.3.
Yes. No,
This is 9.3.
9.3.
Yes. This slide is put again. Okay, so let's try to understand today's shloka. In the purport, Prabhupada mentions, Atay Shri Krishna Namadi Na Bhavet Grahendriya Sevan Mokoi Jevadu Swamev Spurti Ada. So we see in shloka number 10.42. To further understand this shloka, in 10.42, Krishna says, Athave bhau netena kim gyatena tavarjuna vishtam vyamidam kritsnam ekanshana sthito jagat. So in this, in the last line of this purport, Prabhupada mentioned this shloka. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. So this is Prabhupada mentions, Vishtavayam idam Krishnam. Vishtavayam means pervading, Aham means I, idam means this, Krishnam means entire. This entire universe is supported by me. So in this, we see in the purport, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not perceivable through gross and material senses. So here, the shloka of Bhakti Samad Sindhu 1.2.24 is mentioned. Now, how we can further understand this purport? So let's take the few points. Lord Krishna's name, fame, pastimes, etc. cannot be understood by material senses. Now, in this most confidential knowledge, we are talking about bhakti. So we have now come to the level of Bhuyatamam. That Krishna actually explains where it is mentioned. We see the last shloka of this chapter. Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, where it is mentioned, Krishna says, that So Krishna's name, fame, pastimes cannot be understood by material senses. This reminds us of this wonderful prayer by Ambrish Maharaj. Sevamana Krishna Padar Bandayo Vanchansi Gun Vanchansi Vaikuntha Gun Anvavarnane Karor Hriday Marjan Adishu Shruti Chakar Achyut Sabkata Oday. So all the senses Ambrish Maharaj engaged in service of Krishna. So further understand this. This is 9.4.18. There are three slokas, 18, 19 and 20. Ambrish Maharaj describes how we can engage our senses in service of Krishna. This is the most practical. Prabhupada says that Krishna consciousness is the most practical knowledge where we can implement in our day-to-day life. So Ambrish Maharaj says, my mind always engage in lotus feet of Krishna. Sevamana Krishna Padar Vinde. And my tongue, Vanchansi Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha means Krishna. Vaikuntha-dipati. Guna Anuvarnane. My tongue always I engage in describing the qualities of Krishna. Our senses remain the same, but they get Krishnized. They get spiritualized. Even though made up of elements of nature. This body is made of elements of nature, but our senses get Krishnized when we engage in service of Krishna. And also, we understand how to engage our tongue, not only in qualities of Krishna, but chanting his holy names. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare. I have realized Hare Krishna Mahamantra amongst the qualities. Everyone with me? Hare Krishna. Amongst the qualities of Mahamantra, one of the qualities is that it can take us out of that sleep. The devotees who are sleeping or the devotees who are talking, now they are back. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare. I understand this topic is very heavy. There is no katha, there is no pastimes, but actually this is what I could get while reading Prabhupada, connecting various shlokas of Prabhupada to this shloka, and also understanding how we can explain this knowledge. How we can reach to this chapter 9 after understanding the previous chapters, especially chapter 2, 7 and 8. We cannot make it entertaining, but we have to really deep dive into this. And sometimes we fall sleepy also, I understand. But this is what Prabhupada has given us, and we have to develop the interest in understanding the philosophy. Karor, Harer, Mandir, Marjan, Adishu. With the hands, Ambrish Maharaj is cleaning the temple of Lord. Mandir of Hari, Lord Krishna. And then Shruti Chakar Achyut Satkata Hodaye. That ears hearing the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. So similarly, Ambrish Maharaj has explained so many services you can do in 3 slokas. I just taken one. Further in this purport, Prabhupada mentions Let me confess one thing to you. When I was reading this text, I could not understand it. Because here, what Krishna mentions, by me in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. My impression initially was that Krishna is talking about Virat himself. I am pervading in this entire universe in my Virat. But no. That's why Prabhupada's purport are so important. Where Prabhupada says that we can perceive Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead in this universe through these gross material senses also. But Sevan Mukhay Jivan means we have to develop that qualification by serving by tongue, by honoring Prasadam and chanting Hare Krishna. Then we can perceive Krishna in this material world as a supreme personality of Godhead, not in his Virat form. And then we serve Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Prabhupada carries on the same message again further in Brahma Samhita. Where he says, Premanjana Churuta Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadavrideshu Vilokayanti. They see Krishna. Look how much difference it was in my understanding of what Prabhupada is explaining. He says a devotee can see Krishna with self of love in his eyes everywhere. That is a devotee. Not seeing Krishna in his Virat Rupa. No, that is not a devotee. So, this is how Srila Prabhupada as Acharya explains to us. In his life, we see how Prabhupada will see Krishna everywhere. In Jalluda, while he was traveling to US, he faced so many difficulties. Krishna came in his dream. And Krishna told him, you won't face any problems now on. And Captain and his wife, Captain Pandya and his wife, they are witness. Captain has a long experience. He said, I have never seen Atlantic so calm. Otherwise, Prabhupada will get further heart attack. He already had 3. Because he could not bear that roughness of the sea. So this is how Krishna reciprocates to pure devotee. And Captain is the witness of this. He said, my entire career I have seen never calm sea like this. So these are the practical examples from life of pure devotees. Further, one can see the supreme personality of Godhead, Govinda, always within himself and outside himself. One has developed a transcendental loving attitude towards him. So, loving attitude towards Krishna, one can see Govinda within and without. Now, if we are seeing Krishna everywhere, then what our situation will be? Will we feel envious towards him? Will we have any bad feelings? Will we be angry on anyone? Actually, this is a symptom of Mahabharata. We would be like Prabhupada, who can see Krishna everywhere. But our situation, we can follow the footsteps of what he is teaching. What Amrish Maharaj is teaching us. To engage our service of Krishna and his devotees, and subsequently with purified senses. One day may come when we can see Krishna. Prabhupada says, devotee must desire to see Krishna. That should be our desire. Because we have so many desires in our heart. We want to see so many unwanted things. but we should desire to see. And then we'll just stop in a few minutes. Or rather, let's open for some discussions or question answer. We can have a few minutes and then we'll stop, because there are few points which I could not cover, but that's all right. We have read Prabhupada purports and we have discussed a few points from purport. I think that is sufficient for us as far as purport goes. So now we'll stop. Just go down. Always chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Actually, this subject matter is very vast and also full of understanding of who we are, who Krishna is, and how devotional service is the one through which we can actually go back to Godhead. Any comments? Any questions? Please take 2 minutes. Or you have noted down anything which you are taking back with you? Because, you know, we heard from transformation. We have to transform our lives. So we have to take back something with us from today's discussion. So anyone taking anything back with them, you can share, you can ask questions, you can add comments. We have 5 minutes. What we can understand in silence. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Thank you very much for taking this. The devotional service very, very important and one thing that is really important was some thousand devotees, 1,000
Manushanam Shrestha Krishna.
And then you get an example of the Prabhupada's sponsorship in the arguments and then Prabhupada mercifully he have handshake with him and understand his point of view. So that was the one. The last part was to explain how this one will look, especially the 9th chapter, from 9.1 to 9.3. What is the background? How can we really practice base yoga?
Some classes I write some points, because otherwise I feel that I'm doing injustice to myself and to the speaker also, without taking back anything. Our time is so valuable. We should understand. It's just not coming here and sitting and going. No, we have to. This word Brij Prakash Prabhu said transform is resonates in my mind. We have to transform our life. Every second we should utilize how best I can utilize this. If I'm in the class, how best I can take out of this class by just making some few points, noting and just remembering them and implementing in our life. We make the Gyan into Vigyan. Prabhupada always says this: Vigyan, realize knowledge. Yes.
We also very important part in regards to the Amrit project now, where and we have specifically stressed on how to get use our tongue. So, regards to using our tongue, that is the most important part where you can make or break relations.
Yes.
And you have been always a role model always dovetail that conversation to the tongue should be used only to have sadhana and always discussing about Krishna and his past and glory. So most of the time we get attached and attracted towards material discussion, which doesn't take us to anywhere. But when we dovetail and bring it back to how it is connected to Krishna, then we really get satisfied with and not really deviating from our heart.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Actually, the way you have summarized, I feel my preparation is successful. We really need this, Prabhu, because we need to know our devotees really understanding or taking anything back with them or not. Otherwise, so thank you very much, Prabhu. And I am sure all of you are taking something back with you because these are words of Prabhupada. I am not added or I am not reduced. I've just repeated, I'm from this book and from Bhagavatam and everywhere a little bit. So Prabhupada's words have very big potential. That is our faith. So by being here, sitting, listening patiently, thank you very much from bottom of my heart. And again, seeking blessings of all of you. Actually, I myself feel lacking so much because Krishna gives us 24 hours. When I see how much I am utilizing for Krishna. Actually, Prabhupada says, when we are sleeping, it's also service to Krishna. And that is Acharya. How it is service to Krishna? Can you hear? Can anyone further explain this? Sleeping is service of Krishna. Anyone? Yes, please. Yes, Prabhu, yes, exactly. And Prabhupada says, though in this bodily consciousness, Prabhupada, there is a contradiction. Prabhupada says, Yasyasma buddhi kunpe dhatu. Those who think I am this body made of tough with and vayu. Cows and asses. But at the same time, Prabhupada instructs we should keep this body fit. That means we are in bodily consciousness. I have to keep this fit. Means I am paying a lot of attention to this body. We see you, Prabhu, how you keep your body fit. Fit in the sense we all have observed when it is little winter outside, Prabhu will take so much precaution, covering his ears. And yesterday he was wearing this sweater. Then I could realize what is behind this. Because we cannot afford to fall sick. I have experienced when we fall sick, my devotional service goes for a toss. Even chanting can't do. I recently experienced. So that is how actually what this body is meant for. Why we should keep it fit. If you see any mentalists, they are keeping their body fit for sense gratification. Prabhupada says people are keeping their bodies fit to enjoy more and more. Fit body, enjoy more. We keep our body fit body, serve more. Actually, Mr. Prakash, we request you to enlighten us further on this because please, we will hear from you because
thank you, Dr. Very good. You explained this to connection from the second chapter. Right from second chapter. The Buddha Gyan, Buddha Gyan. And finally, we see that how Krishna is spreading his Ashwara Gyan in this book. After giving the rest 3 verses about the Gyan, The benefits of the knowledge now, which we talk about Ashwarya. So question, since nobody asked a question, so we have a question for you.
Yeah.
So what is the title is most concentration on from this chapter. So I'm Krishna talking about the Vyakta Murtinaam that I'm all pervading. So what is the connection between these two? Krishna's all pervasive nature and the most comprehensive knowledge. How do you understand? Because we understood most comprehensive knowledge is Bhakti Yoga, right? And here we see all pervasive impersonal feature of Krishna. All pervasive is not this impersonal feature, right? So how is it related to the most comprehensive knowledge?